So we're gonna get into it. I'm just going to say, everybody just follow my lead, and then we're gonna go me, Mom, John, Jeremy, David, Deborah.
Okay.
All right. So my name is Mickey Gamonal. I am in Gamonal Tutors, and I'm currently launching the ASVAB Domination Project. If you're getting into the military and you want to get your best score, enter that military at a high level, you want to go through ASVAB Domination. My hat today is my Peace Corps hat, and I got a lot of Peace Corps pride. I was in Morocco for 2 years, and it was a life-changing, altering event. So that's where my hat comes from.
Well, my story of my hat isn't quite so good as all that. I didn't spend 2 years in Morocco, but we did go see Mickey when he was there. And my hat is a Larry Mahan. So it is not a Stetson, but I got it 2 years ago when we had our storytelling festival in Sundance, Utah, where Robert Redford comes from. So that's what it was for. I also have a not so great Western hat that I wear for hiking and everything else, but it's all goopy and beat up. So.
Cool. And what do you sell?
We own ABCI, Aviation Business Consultants International, and we help aviation companies sell more of their products and services.
Sweet. Go ahead, John.
As everybody knows, I do all the back-end stuff for her. This hat I bought in Texas in 1973, so it's 47 years old. It's a Stetson and 7X at the time. That was almost as high as they went. Now they're up to 15Xs or whatever, but nowadays to get one of these would be around $1,500. I just kept it just because.
Hat inflation.
Right?
Is that a 10-gallon hat?
No.
No?
Not even.
Okay. 5-gallon hat.
When you see a 10-gallon hat, you'll know it.
Cool. All right, go ahead, Jeremy.
I'm Jeremy Cox. I am Jet Values Jeremy. If you need an aircraft or a helicopter or any kind of aviation equipment appraised, I am your man. I specialize and enjoy appraising aircraft that are not listed by any price guide. However, I will do anything, including price guide airplanes. So far this year, I've done 41 appraisals, so I'm busy this year. My hat went to Billings, Montana in 2010, went to Rand's Custom Hats. They measured my head with a special hat-shaped measuring thing that they put a piece of paper in the crown, close the latch on it, you put it on your head, it actually maps the shape and size of your head. And over the years, I've had them make me 4 hats. I love them. They're phenomenal. And this is the Tom Mix hat. This is from a famous gunslinger of the movies from the 1950s, 40s, 50s. This is the Tom Mix hat. So there you go. Dave.
Yes, hello, my name is David Pearl. I am now an aviation copywriter. I prefer to think of myself with a term that Paula gave or suggested a week ago, a collaborator. I can write pretty much all things aviation. I come from an aviation background. I was a Navy pilot, and when I got out of the Navy, I went into law. And then I was an aviation attorney. I defended airlines and, aviation companies in lawsuits. I had a number of trials and so forth. And so I feel like I've come back to the light side, having been on the dark side for many, many years.
Fight the man. Yeah.
It's a very interesting profession. I'm looking forward to helping aviation companies do anything that they need. I'd like to get into it a little bit more deeply than just a writing assignment. I'd like to collaborate, find out what they want to do, and help them engage with their audience. As far as the hat, it's the hat from the USS Kitty Hawk, an aircraft carrier. I got it when my brother-in-law, who was a captain in the Navy, invited me for a I guess it's a dependence cruise. He's significantly younger, but we went out from Norfolk, went out beyond the territorial limit so that they could do high-speed passes. And if you've never seen a high-speed pass, that's breaking the sound barrier, but watching a plane going faster than the sound barrier over the water, you see this wave that trails them. And so the plane goes past, and then you hear it about 3 seconds later. It was quite impressive. I didn't fly planes that could go that fast, so it was very interesting for me.
What was it, Dave? Was it an F-14?
This was an F-18.
18, no kidding.
18. This was
Awesome.
This was only. I mean, it wasn't when I was flying. He's a lot younger than me, and so we went out and he wasn't flying the plane, but he arranged it for us, and it was very impressive.
Hi, I'm Debbie Murphy. I'm the VP of Marketing for Jet Brokers, and we buy and sell jets. So what I do is I do all marketing material and deal with social media and website, everything else. My hat, I'm not sure where the straw part came from, but this part came from a friend of mine who was an anthropologist who I used to work for when I was in college. So that's my main.
So cool.
So an anthropologist, does it come from a particular time and place, or is that a design that?
Well, this is probably
unique?
something that just came from Guatemala. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I was going to
He
say
used
that
to
looks
travel
like
all over the world, like up in Tibet, and like this is like in the 80s and the 70s.
how
So
cool.
he went out with the Tuaregs in Africa, all over the place. He's the most interesting person.
Well, right on. I like the diversity. I like that Deborah actually made part of her hat. Like that's, I think you take the cake in that. So that's cool. Or at least placed it anyway. But so what I really liked about that last round, we'll just tap whoever's next. Because Jeremy started it, he was like, okay, go ahead, David. So then I'll say, okay, so whenever you're done speaking, but it's still a conversation. So if you want to interrupt or anything like that, totally cool. No worries.
Could you stop us from interrupting?
It's true. I need a gavel.
Tell us it's time up.
All right, cool. So today, the goal of today is to talk about a marketing product or idea that you use, that you believe in. So I'll go first, and I'm really excited about this one because it's super broad, and you can kind of talk about anything you want marketing-wise that is of value to you and that you think would be of value to others. That's great. My item is called ManyChat. So ManyChat is used. It's an application that you install on your Facebook, and Facebook ads are all the rage right now. Of course, not everybody's on Facebook, but ManyChat essentially takes whoever reaches out and messages your page, and it'll feed them through a filter. So if you guys have been in business for a long time, which you all have in one way or another, you realize that you're asking the same questions over and over again of your potential clients. Maybe, what are you here for? What is the value of the item, or whatever the common questions that you ask, you can go ahead and feed that into your ManyChat, and it'll let them select whatever answers. So you can actually get your clients into boxes, right? So for me, as an ASVAB tutor, first thing I ask is, are you taking the ASVAB? Are you joining the military? Second thing I ask is, do you have enough time to study? And then I start working them through, what's your motivation level? Are you willing to invest in tutoring? Whatever list of questions I think I should ask to get them to the ideal client. And that's what I'm doing. I'm shaping up students into knowing exactly what I want from them before I even message them, which is awesome. It's great to have it going in the background. I've put some money, I put about $20 a day into Facebook ads. And so they just click the link on the Facebook ad and they get delivered into Messenger, and then they go through that filter. So it's saving me a ton of time and a ton of effort. So that's my item. Does anybody have any questions on that one? Go ahead.
So I know before you started the ManyChat, one of the things that you were doing was a free promotion. Mm-hmm. And you were getting a lot of people that were wasting your time. Do you want to talk about how the difference between this and that method?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you don't want to give out freebies, especially as a tutor, but I would imagine as anything. The reason you don't want to give out freebies is your time becomes worthless, right? Like the more free stuff you give out and you give to people, the more they think, oh, this isn't worth anything, right? And that you'll be lucky to even get the attention of these people, because there's so many things competing for everyone's attention. So what you want to do is you want to position yourself into kind of a higher status. At least in my experience, I want to position myself into a higher status so that people want to come work with me rather than me begging to work with people, right? So that's what ManyChat really does. Is I'm done with the freebies because they're not effective. I did 3 months saying, hey, if anybody anywhere needs math help, hit me up, and everybody needs math help. Everybody sucks at math, but nobody was coming to me, right? So something was disconnected there, and that's not necessarily an advocacy of ManyChat, but it's definitely an issue with freebies for sure. I'm very anti-freebies moving forward. I'll probably never give away anything for free from now on. If anybody asks me for a discount, I'm going to turn around and the first thing I'm going to say is, will you give me discounted effort? Because if you're going to give me discounted effort because I gave you a discounted price, this isn't going to work, right? I don't want you to half-ass it, for lack of a better term, and because you paid me half. Like that's ridiculous. So that's my statement on freebies. But does anybody have any questions about ManyChat? Oh, one thing you should know is that it does cost. It is $10 per month, which is kind of a steal. So far, I have 30 people in my ManyChat bot, and I'm growing 6 per day. So in the next week, that should give me 7 times 6, 42. I should have 42 extra students just talking, and they already know who I am. They already know what I want. That's amazing. That's way worth $10 to get 42 new students every week.
Right. And Debbie, I know you're running Facebook ads as well.
Yeah, that sounds like something I may have to add to my mix here.
Yeah, let's talk about that next time we talk.
Yes, I was thinking that.
Does this allow you to screen your potential clients somehow? Meaning, will most of the people that go through your program, will they have already taken the ASVAB through a high school or something like that?
Yeah, so one of the questions in my ManyChat bot, I think it's question, and I have it listed as they go through, 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5. So I think it's like question 3 is, have you taken the ASVAB before? And it's about a 50-50 breakdown. Some of them have, but don't remember it. But the majority, yeah, like I say, it's 50-50. So I'm not too concerned about what their score is. I'm more concerned about what score they want. So I try to keep that focused on the results. You know, what are they trying to get out of it? So that helps me when I have my consultation and speak with them about how to get there. But yeah, I think that answered your question.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back to the ASVAB. It never occurred to me that this was something that you prepared for. I took it when I was, I think it was my junior year in high school. It might have been the year later, right before I had to register for the draft. And, I know that the varying score levels, you had to have a higher score to go in the Air Force than you did to go into the infantry or to the Army. But other than that, it was not clear, why I was taking the test.
Yeah, no, and that's kind of the issue that a lot of students have is they think, okay, this is just going to figure out where I'm at, right? And then they'll just take a job like ditch digger for 6 years because they scored low on the ASVAB. And that's really what I'm trying to combat. I really want 17-year-olds to get in as fighter pilots because then they spend the next 6 years building a career rather than digging ditches. And it's very common. One of the big commonalities is the test isn't that difficult. It's kind of like maybe an 8th, 9th grade level, but there's a ton of people, particularly from foreign countries, who want to go into the military for citizenship, who really struggle with either word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, and honestly, the school systems tend to fail people in math too, and critical thinking. So they need help in all of the subjects, and you need like a 30 to get into the military. And a 30 means you're in the bottom third of everybody who's taken the test. So you don't have to be that great, but you do, to get in. But what I want is people who strive for more, because a lot of people get into the military trying to get to college, and as soon as they get to college, they're gonna smack a wall if they can't pass the ASVAB. So it's really about building them up for all future success. But that's more my product. But does anybody have anything on ManyChat? Cool.
How does somebody how does somebody get to you? You're on ManyChat, but someone goes on Facebook, do they have to say, I'm really looking for ASVAB stuff? Do they have to be that focused? How do you get to them?
So I know Deborah and Mom have been working on Facebook ads, and that's actually the targeting part. You set up your Facebook ad to speak to people who are interested. My audience currently is for anybody who's interested in any of the 5 branches of military, and anybody who's typed ASVAB into Facebook or Google, so they have an ASVAB interest. And with those 2 things, I get most of the people I want. If people wanted to come out and find me on my own, they can go to Gamonal Tutors Facebook and then just type in there.
Facebook's got, I don't know. It's a disinterested user's approach to big data. You don't have to be a corporation. You can select demographics there that just go crazy.
It's actually really frightening from a consumer point of view, but it's great from a marketing point of view.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Debbie, I stepped on you.
Well, you can select your competitors or other people that are doing similar things to you.
Right.
People you're following them.
Yes.
Do that. And I advocate for, like, I have a friend who's another ASVAB tutor, and he's kind of built something similar to me, but we're on a conversation basis. So I haven't actually gone through it. Like what I would do if I was out to really go out and dominate right away, because I only need 30 students to launch my project. But if I wanted to, level the playing field and murder all other ASVAB tutors, I would look into it, because Facebook makes it pretty accessible. You can go in and see exactly what demographics they're targeting. And then from there, you scoop their leads. It's pretty vicious, but trying to be really Peace Corps and hippie about the whole thing. But yeah, that's a few minutes. I don't want to dwell on ManyChat. Everybody's got something to add. But if you ever have any questions on ManyChat, feel free to personal message me. I'm available for you. So go ahead, Mom.
Cool. So my favorite tool, as most of you know, is something that does something that I hate doing and something that needs to be done. Most people that fail at marketing usually are failing because they're failing to do their tasks. They're failing to get things done. And so as a project manager, that was what I did before I got into marketing. Something that helps you get things done and keep your information organized is really what people are after, because a lot of times people don't get things done because they have to go do research and they have to pull in all this stuff and they don't remember what they talked about with their client 3 weeks ago when they first had this idea, and then somebody else had a thought, and all of that stuff doesn't get combined until later. So what I really love is Basecamp, and I know it's not everybody's favorite tool. It is a paid tool. It's about $100 a month, $99 a month, I think, for the level that we provide to our clients. And our clients use it for free. And a lot of our clients make it their own tool. So they start assigning tasks to their own people, using it as an internal tool and things like that. And, that's wonderful, because then we just become part of their team. And so then we can see what other people are doing that is related to what we're doing. And, everything that we want. Like right now we're talking about a project with Motive LMS, and they have an idea for a press release, but they don't want to do it yet. So we're just collecting information into a Basecamp folder. And then when they decide to turn it on, they just assign a task, put in a due date, assign a name, and you're off and running. So it's 1,000 times easier than trying to pull up 15 different emails that are about this topic and have different attachments and things like that and trying to get it all together. And also, I think it gives added value to our clients, because that's how we deliver our reports. We save all of our office hours and everything else as videos. And so it's got unlimited storage. And that's the difference, like between Basecamp and Slack and things like that, is if you're using Slack, then you also have to use Dropbox or Google Docs or something, and then you have stuff in a million different places. And Basecamp lets you put it all in one place. So it also has apps for your iPad and apps for your phone, and I even get notifications on my watch, when somebody needs something on Basecamp. So I try to tell all of our clients, if you want something immediately, use Basecamp rather than trying to email me, because I'll never see your email in my monster pile of email. It'll be 3 days before I ever see it. But if you send me something in Basecamp, then I will get it right away. Questions about Basecamp? I know Debbie, you use it quite a bit, and Jeremy, you have as well, and John hates it. Anybody else have any feelings about Basecamp?
I got a comment in as much as this may sound like I'm a Luddite and not in any way going against Basecamp, because the times I have used it, it's been very effective. I've used it because you use it, and it does the job. But I gotta say, I'm not a Microsoft lover by any means. I'm an all Apple platform. However, I've got a subscription to Office like virtually every swinging dick on this planet has. It was genius when they went from buy the software for hundreds of dollars and now pay $100 a year for the rest of your life, which is outrageous. But anyway, I've got to say I am an advocate of OneNote. I think
really?
OneNote pretty much does what Basecamp does. It's included with the Office subscription, and you can collaborate with as many people as you want with OneNote. I use it extensively when I'm researching a specific make and model of airplane that I'm appraising. I'll pull in. I kind of use it as my notepad, but I am old-fashioned. I mean, I use a notepad, and when I'm done, it's required of me to keep a work file, and I actually use my iPhone here and take a picture of my notes and put them in I keep electronic files in the iCloud for my airplane. So I've got my work files 2020 labeled 2020, and there's 42 airplanes in there right now because I'm working on a CJ4 at the moment. But when I get into something that is kind of outside of my normal cone of experience and knowledge, then I open up OneNote and I start grabbing stuff and posting it, and it becomes kind of my pinboard where I can throw concepts and ideas and snippets from the internet and other places. I'll go through a book. I've got a whole library in here of aircraft books, and I'll grab something. I'll take a picture with my iPhone. It'll go up to my photos, and then I'll go ahead and screenshot it and post it into OneNote. So I've got an active work file for a specific airplane or project that I'm working on, and it's all in OneNote. And like you with Basecamp, I can access it on my laptop, the MacBook. I can access it on my iPad. I can access it on my iPhone. I do have an Apple Watch, but I don't use it because I think it's stupid. But I could access it on the Apple Watch as well. I like my Rolex instead. Anyway, so I just wanted to say that you don't have to have a subscription. Well, you have to have the $100 a year Microsoft mainline subscription. All of us do, but it's included with it. OneNote is amazing.
You can use Google Drive like that.
Sure, right.
Is well how I use Google Drive that way. I have since forever. But
Same. Yeah, I've been using Google Drive myself.
Use that as a repository.
Right, and it's great as a repository, but it doesn't do the tasks and the delegation and the deadlines and things like that as well. I don't think as Basecamp does.
I could see why you use Basecamp when you
yeah
working with us.
Right, and OneNote I've actually it's been a bunch of years since I looked at OneNote. To be fair, it was probably 10 years ago when I tried using OneNote and it just didn't have the features that we wanted. But it has been a long time, so maybe I'm sure it's better than it has been. It might be worth looking into if.
Well, you know what? Another feature of OneNote, which it takes a little bit of configuration, but it's pretty effective. It'll actually you can speak and type, so you can dictate to OneNote, and so the days of what is it, One Dragon or Dragon Speak or Speakeasy.
Oh,
Dragon,
heavens, yeah.
Yeah, that's gone.
Word perfect.
It's gone. Yeah, I mean they've all gone. All this virtual speech recognition stuff, but it's actually in OneNote, which, you know, I don't use it that often, but if you're on the run, on the fly, it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Can I ask about Basecamp?
Sure.
Just to be clear, it is it's used to assign tasks as well as store data.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, so it helps for like a project management kind of deal a lot of the time.
Exactly. So I can see, what I'm behind on, what's coming up this week. I can look at a task list, and it has all of the files attached to each task.
Gotcha.
Yeah, which is, go ahead.
And when you finish, you click finish, and it shows you it's been done.
That's nice. Also, Jeremy, Google Drive, if you open a doc, you can do voice typing in there too.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that.
I
Interesting.
think it's a newer feature.
Oh yeah, I mean Facebook will type for you too. Anybody nowadays, it's almost expected, right? If you bought a new phone and it doesn't listen to your voice and translate your text.
I don't know if Basecamp does that or not. I'll have to look into it. I haven't thought to do it, but that's just because I keep using it the way I always have, and I need to expand my thinking. So that's part of the reason for this conversation, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Any other questions on Basecamp? Cool. All right. Oh wait, Mom. Last thing. Can you tell me how much it costs? How much is your subscription?
Our subscription, the retail would be $99 a year, $99 a month. So it is kind of pricey, but we have an unlimited subscription. So what we do is we just make projects for each of our clients, so they don't have to buy it. And then also we make them administrators of the software. So if you're one of our clients, you can use the software as much as you want. So we've got an enterprise subscription. So if you are a lab member, you have unlimited usage of that software.
Sweet.
Yeah. Very
cool. So it's $100 a year unless you're your client, and then
right.
And then it's perks.
But you might want to, depending on what you're doing, if you have a situation where you're doing project management with clients, you might want to offer them, do an enterprise license and offer that as part of your service.
Cool. All right.
It's a whole lot easier than chasing people.
True that. All right, cool. Just had to ask. Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, so the price is important, I think.
Yeah.
For moving
and it
forward.
Is pricey. It is kind of expensive.
Well, no, just in general for everybody to mention the price at least. But that's good. Good info. All right, go ahead, John.
Well, I've actually got two, but one of them won't take much time at all, and it pretty much supersedes what everybody else is. It's called the internet. The greatest marketing tool around. Without it, where would we all be?
I'd be working in offices.
Our jobs are doing now.
Thank goodness Al Gore invented it, right?
Exactly. Otherwise, we'd all be working in offices with filing cabinets and faxing things to each other.
Anyway, this is something I learned to use a bunch of years ago when I was working for IBM. It is a data analysis tool, bar none. I can take anything that you look at, and you have to be able to write basic program and understand nested if statements. But if you want to get into it, I can tell you, because like if we do a JetNet export and we got hundreds of thousands of records, I can look at anything, I can change anything, I can produce anything.
And if you're not aware, I mean, I'm sure Jeremy and Debbie know this very well, but JetNet is a.
Oh, yeah, it's got all the data on all aircraft and FBOs and businesses worldwide.
Right. It's kind of a subscription to the FAA data, except easier to use.
It's more than FAA data.
They have their own research.
Yeah.
The FAA only handles U.S. stuff. This thing got international.
Mm-hmm.
So
anyway,
what is Rex language? What it's a language?
Yeah, it's an interpretive language. It's pretty inexpensive. I think it's like $60. You put it on your computer and you tell it the name of the file you want as input, and then you write plain language statements of what you want it to do, and it'll do that.
So what would be a statement? Like, what would you tell it to do?
The simple statement would be if this, then that.
Okay.
So a use case would be like, we are looking for all of the FBOs in Florida that are, and we get the data from JetNet, and then we get data from some other data broker or something like that, because we want ones that are for sale, as an example.
Or all the ones that have jet fuel, or all the ones that have jet fuel and avgas, or only avgas.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
I mean, anything you want. It's crazy. And then you can then take that data and make your own report in any way you want to do it, and it'll write it out in the format you want.
So don't hate me for that. I sound like this crazy Microsoft person, and I'm really not a disciple of the vaccine master, Mr. Gates. But what could I say? It sounds to me like you can actually do what your program's doing in Excel, and I do that with Excel.
No, you can't actually.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, you can't, because you can do some basic stuff. I mean, in Excel is very, very basic compared to what this does. I mean, this thing goes extreme.
So
it depends on what you want to do with it.
Well, I've got Amstat, the brand X, as opposed to brand Y, which is JetNet.
Right.
And I export directly out of that into Excel. And the issue with Excel, in my mind, is not the capability of the software program Excel itself. It's the capability of the user. Because
same way with Rex.
Yeah, there is so much you can do with Excel. You just need to understand how to use it. Yep. And it boggles my mind every time I use Excel every day, unfortunately, because it's the basis of my appraisals. I take 8 comparative sales, recent sales. In fact, I'm doing a CJ4 at the moment, which is a retrospective, and the effective date is February 2014. But it just, I put 8 comparative sales from back in 2014 on it, and that's how I come up with my value.
Sure, I understand. But Rex also takes non-textual data and can convert it to text, and then you can manipulate it.
Got it.
Right. And John uses Excel every single day as well, but he uses Rex once a week.
I always found Microsoft products are like set up so that everybody can use them. But if you want to do something really specific, sometimes you need to use a more.
It's very specific.
You can manipulate yourself better.
But once you write a program, then you can take the same data in from any source, and it'll just punch it right out the way you want it. Anyway.
Sounds like a good tool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it is. We've done a lot of analysis on data for our company, and I've used that to create some reports for her to do that.
REXX language. I am going to look that up, and I'm going to see if it's something I should do. Brilliant.
And you can set up reports that you would use, things that you do multiple times. Jeremy, I guess I could see if you had a set of problems that you use for each appraisal, you could set up a Rex program to just run for you and give you the data you need.
It's not for the faint-hearted.
You have to be super nerdy.
You have to, right. You have to like being super nerdy.
Yeah.
Well, business in general isn't for people who get squeamish, right? This is for
No.
people who are sticking to their guns.
Mm-hmm.
As an example, when I first got introduced to it, I was working on a contract for IBM, and we were taking data from dissimilar devices as input to this machine and creating records for network management.
Yeah, that's ahead of its time for sure. Now everything's connected, but yeah, back then.
Yeah, we had to connect it ourselves.
True.
Well, you think
got
everything's
internet
connected right
created.
now, but it's not really.
Decided to connect it better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's much better now. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. Thanks. Go ahead, Jeremy.
All right. So I don't mean to be devil's advocate.
Of course you
You
do.
always do a good job of that.
We've
Love
come
being
up
devil.
Microsoft stuff, but and this is truly embarrassing, but the greatest marketing tool that I use, well, I probably use it twice a month. I've got my ad campaign or my flyers. A lot of you have seen my flyers, and I try and set up 5 weeks in advance. So I list them all in my Excel program. I decide what I'm going to put out on a specific date. I always send out a constant contact email on a Monday and a Thursday. And I've been expanding my advertising a little bit, and I'm finding globalair.com is doing a really good job at getting me appraisal work. There's a In-Flight magazine I just started advertising in. I was in Traderplane, but they ceased to exist. Now they're purely online.
Yeah.
But I try and maintain my tickling message to everybody through constant contact on Mondays and Thursdays. But the key to this is how I create my ads. And I create my ads, and I've been using this to create flyers and ads and all sorts of things as long as I've had Microsoft Office, and that's PowerPoint. I absolutely love PowerPoint. Now, a lot of people use, and they're great advocates for proper, I don't know, proper programs that do this stuff. But you can pretty much create anything in PowerPoint and then export it as a JPEG, a bitmap, or a GIF or whatever. In fact, in this CJ4 appraisal I'm doing is a retrospective, so I have the retail value history, which I screenshotted, pasted it into my PowerPoint, and then I created a little graphic that points to first quarter 2014, and it says Q1 2014. And then exported that as a JPEG. It's now in my appraisal report. It's fabulous. So that my greatest tool, marketing tool that I use at least twice a month, sometimes more, is PowerPoint. I love PowerPoint. And I've got another one, which I'll tell you really quickly. And then if you guys got anything to throw out about PowerPoint, but June 9th is when I started my trial subscription, and July 9th is when my credit card will be billed, and it's $119.40 a year, and that is for Canva.com, Canva.com, and I actually participated in a webinar. It was a machinery and technical appraisers webinar from Northern California back on June 9th, and they talked about this, and like we are today, throwing these tools out, and I'm looking them each up. I've got 3 screens here, which you can't see, but on my right side is my internet screen, on the left is my email screen, and the center one is my workspace. But I go over here. I've got Canva.com pulled up. It blows my mind. I've used PowerPoint to create very basic infographics, but oh my goodness, Canva.com, I created an awesome infographic a little over a week ago, and you may have seen it. I sent it out as a direct mail.
Yes, I saw that.
Infographic, I created that with Canva.com. I also created a newsletter, which is the first one, the first edition, which I'm going to try and send out every month from Canva.com. It's got everything, and it's only it's less than $120 a year. It's mind blowing.
You get it for free as a member, though, Jeremy. I just didn't know you wanted it.
I didn't know. It's okay. I don't mind paying.
Oh, for heaven's sake! Well, let us add you to the account, because everybody else on this call is using it for free.
Oh, wow. Well, there you go. Well, that's the second best tool that I've just recently discovered, and I love it. It's fantastic.
One of the things that's good about it is that it can size the graphic appropriately for the social media type that you're using. Because if you don't size it the size that they expect, like for Facebook or Twitter, you don't see part of the graphic. So Canva is really good with that because you can pick the right sizes.
Saves a lot of time that way.
I agree. Yeah, it gives a very professional look. That's cool. I never would have pegged Jeremy to come with design on both, PowerPoint and Canva. That's awesome. That's great. I've seen your flyers, and your flyers are really good. I didn't know you did them yourself. They're solid.
I do.
So how much you get paid in Microsoft every time you say PowerPoint?
Hopefully my payment will be, I won't be forced to take the vaccine and chip.
Well, PowerPoint's better than Microsoft Publisher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Publisher went away. I've got a whole bunch of documents we can't use anymore because, we had to recreate them in something else. It's insane.
That's what I was trying to think of when I said other programs other people like to use, and I couldn't remember, but yeah, it's Publisher.
Yeah.
I tried using it one time. I couldn't get my head around it.
Yeah.
So I'm a PowerPoint guy. I'm sorry, but it works.
Yeah, no, there's Photoshop and Adobe, but yeah, I think PowerPoint is surprisingly user friendly for how long it's been around. Like it's pretty impressive that they've been able to be that useful for that long. And I think Canva might be the antidote to that, but still, I think in conjunction, that's great. That's cool.
Even Google Slides, you can do it. A lot of the stuff you could do in PowerPoint, you can do in Google Drive and Google Slides for free.
That's true. Perfect. Any questions on Canva or PowerPoint? Everybody's good with that one. Nobody can. Cool. All right, go ahead, Debbie. I think it's on you.
Oh, it's Dave, I think, next.
David, my mistake.
Yeah,
yeah you're right. It's set wrong, but yeah, you had it right.
Okay. Well, I have to say I've been a little bit silent here because I feel like I'm sitting in the back of the room. I'm not as knowledgeable about these marketing platforms, and for many years I guess the digital side of things was something that my secretaries or paralegals did, and I wasn't too involved with that. But recently, I've tried to get myself a little bit more up to speed on those things and learn things. I feel like I'm probably still in the cassette world when everybody else is streaming things, but I am bringing myself more up to speed. I like to use that analogy of music because I'm still old enough to remember putting records on a record player. And I know that my kids maybe saw me do that once or twice, but they get everything directly through a streaming service, which they've shown me how to do. And I think as marketers, we have to be thinking in terms of what does our target audience use? We're getting younger, and so we have to use marketing platforms that are going to appeal to them. Even if we're not as comfortable with them, we have to upgrade to that. And along those lines, my research, my studies, I'm excited about something that's called chatbots. Chatbots are a way that someone using a smartphone can simply do everything that they want to do at one stop. I'm about to embark upon a training course to show me how to write the I guess the process for that. But it excites me. The results are otherworldly right now. Open rates for chatbots is about 80%, and conversion rates is about 65%. So if if somebody's doing marketing right now, I think this is something they need to seriously consider. And even the more staid world of aviation business, which I come from a world of lawyers, and we worked with bankers and insurance reps. Those are not really cutting edge people as far as the digital world is concerned. But we're in a situation now where digital is almost our only way of reaching out to clients right now. What we're doing right now, we're not able to do the face-to-face, and we're not real certain when face-to-face is going to come back. So I think it's going to benefit all of us to be mindful of the things that are going to work with the target audiences out there. I'm certainly not thinking that a 58-year-old CEO is going to be real comfortable with chatbots at first. But if that's the only way for him to get the message for his company out to prospective clients, then I think he's going to be willing to try it. And again, the results are very promising right now. So that's my thought. Can I answer specific questions about how chatbots work? I can give you something basic, but it's pretty much something that I will have just read. I'm not an expert in it, but it's certainly something that I see as, if it's not a panacea, the solution to every problem, but we have to face the fact that many of our prospective clients are getting information strictly from the smartphone. And this is a method, this is a platform that is tied to that. It's one stop. They can do everything they want to do. They don't have to go to a different website. Anything that they want to accomplish, the chatbot system ranks or takes them right through that. And so, you can start your investigation and you can buy the product or service at one place. And I think that's going to be very beneficial for all of us.
Since you're in the chatbots, you should probably do a little research on what Facebook did. They had some engineers, they created a chatbot, and they got thinking, let's put this on another server and then have introduce the two.
The two chatbots.
The two chatbots, right? And they did, and you could see they were watching it, and then it started speeding up, and then it got so fast it wouldn't even show up on the screen, and then it was driving the CPU beyond 100% on both the servers, so they shut it down. When they looked at what they saw, they were responding so fast, they were actually creating a new language between the two of them.
Yeah, I don't know where we're really going.
I know. I mean, you'll find it an interesting read.
Yes, but I think if we use the music analogy, I can remember when the cool thing was to have these 4-foot tall speakers, put them outside the dorm room. That was a real status symbol, something to blast. And now it's earbuds and things of that type. So things are moving from big to small. It's still, I don't like looking at my phone for a screen. It's just not comfortable for me. I can't imagine anybody enjoying a movie on a screen size that small. But
they do it.
Right, but markets aren't trying to reach me. They're trying to reach my grandkids now. So that's where I think we have to recognize that just because it's not comfortable for us doesn't mean it's not a successful opportunity that we should pursue. And I think this chatbots strikes me as a way for us to get things out there and do so very well.
I think that's great. I think it's really awesome the way that you say it, because for me, I didn't know about ManyChat last week either. This is all like everything you're saying is like I really agree with what you're saying and can relate. Like we're all constantly learning new things, and we don't know where this crazy train's going, but we know it's going pretty damn quick, and if we're going to be on it, we got to be on it. So I think that's great.
Right. I mean, I just when you were talking, Jeremy, I thought, man, you could set something up just like that, and if they're interested in it, you take them all the way through the program, and you never have to risk them going somewhere else to get information. It just seems to me something like what you're doing is perfect for it, and many of the things that us and our clients, I'm thinking about. Once I know how to do it, that's how I want to put people in. If they want to use my services, I'm thinking I'll put that right. They can access it however the appropriate way is to do that, and we can get something set up. If they want me to write something, create some type of copy, they can do it all from a chatbot. It gives me practice doing it anyway.
Right. You know what I love about this group is that, David, you understand that good music is good music, and it doesn't, whether it's delivered on a cassette or whether it's delivered through earbuds, you're open to that. You understand that, what the quality behind it is good music, and that is timeless, and it has always been and will always be. And Mickey, you implemented something in 2 weeks. I have never seen anybody hear of a tool before and then start making money with it in less than 2 weeks. So, you're basically taking those principles and applying them so fast. It's just insane. And, in the aviation industry, we're a lot slower than that because we like to test things and things like that. But, and we also have a demographic that we need to consider that is older and more risk averse. But it is so cool to have all sides, in on this discussion. So anyway, I just wanted to express appreciation for that.
Cool.
It's interesting. So I'm looking at their website, and they're very nefarious about their pricing, because it says, how much do chatbots cost? And it says chatbots can vary in price pretty drastically depending on the level of functionality, placement of the bot, and the type of chatbot. These powerful little pieces of software can be free, or they can be thousands of dollars of custom development every month. I'm thinking, woohoo! So they're saying a platform could cost between $9 and $1,000 a month. So how much you paying, Dave?
Well, right now I'm not paying anything. I'm learning how to do it. But as far as setting one up, they suggest if you're working for a client, that to set them up for a chatbot service, depending on how many, you start around $1,000 to set it up, but then it's set and let go. It's not monitoring all done, but that's
Right.
Our monitoring all the way through. So the idea would be, how are you going to reach your clients? Are you going to do it through a printed circular? I'm sure that some aviation companies are still reaching out to people that go to trade shows and so forth, and they send them something via snail mail. Probably more companies are doing it through email. So this would be either in addition to or instead of, something that you're already doing. What I like about it is that if you send somebody an email, well, then they have to go someplace to do it. If you send them a circular, there's another step that you don't have control over. If they hit your chatbot, then they're gonna, they can follow it all the way through. They don't have to go anywhere else. It's instantaneous. And as I said, the initial, the statistics that I've read, 80% open rate. What's the open rate for your mail? What's the open rate for your email? What's the open rate for other things that you're doing? I suspect it's nowhere close to 80%. And then the conversion rate, right now at 65%. I think, for a mail campaign, is it even 3%? So,
well, and some of that difference in price is, are you buying just the container, or are you buying the copywriting and things like that go into the container?
Yes. And, my thought would, what I'm hoping to do, I'm not trying to do the mechanics of, get into the computer. I'm doing the copy, and someone else would install
Do the programming, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's, there's many things I think I can learn, but getting inside the black box, we used to call it FM. I won't tell you what FM means. John probably knows. That's what with the black boxes. But the M was magic. So I'm not trying to go into the computer itself and figure out the mechanics of actually getting it on there. I write the series, the questions. It's pretty much like a flow diagram. If this, then that, and you go either direction. Yes, this way. No, somewhere else. But you try to anticipate the questions that are going to be asked and set it up for someone. So it's the script, I guess, is that.
Sounds like a good service.
So that's something that I think all of us should be aware of, because whether we want to do it or not, I think that's what the future is going to be. And for us right now with COVID-19, people are kind of hunkered down. If we're not digital now, well, maybe when COVID-19, we don't have to be, maybe. Right. But I don't think we can plan on that being the case. And I think a lot of companies that have moved more digital are going to find the advantages of cost and time efficiency to be such that they're going to want to continue to do it beyond COVID-19. And if we're not positioned to do that, I think we're falling behind. I don't think there's a great risk in becoming more digitalized right now. I think there is a great risk in not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Well, that's good for now. We'll skip over questions on that one, and then we'll switch over to Debbie. But thanks, that was good.
My tool is the whole Adobe Creative Suite, which includes Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere Pro, Adobe Acrobat, thousands of fonts. So I do the branding, custom branding for jet brokers, and I create everything from scratch. Even if I, pull the data out of Amstat and throw it into, turn this off.
So what was?
That's why we edit.
No worries.
Sorry.
Exactly. No, that's fine.
Not even my phone. So, I'll pull in information into Excel, and then I'll dump it into Illustrator, and there. Okay.
Is it Microsoft Suite? Is that what you were saying?
No, it's Adobe. Not Microsoft. It's Adobe Creative Suite.
Okay.
So it's like it's $52.99 a month.
Okay.
And it includes everything that you could possibly want to do, including Dreamweaver. So I make the website with it. I make the videos with it. I edit photographs. I create custom graphics. InDesign also is like the print, if you want to create books with it or whatever. So you can do any possible design, like professional design function with this suite. So I've been using it, because I'm old, since like the early 90s.
And you do the most beautiful charts and graphs I have ever seen.
And they really are customized. I mean, I use our particular colors. You can't really do that in Excel. So I enjoy it. Plus, I have all the actual correct sizes for the different social media graphics that I need already set up. So when I go in, I just go in, and it's a good flow for me to get all work done. And it exports in any format that you want to export it in, which is super useful. So that's mine.
And by the way, compared to some of us, you're a youngster.
Right.
Well, I had a big birthday this year. I'm not going to tell you what it was.
Well, good for you. I remember, using the Adobe Suite years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, before it became a subscription. And it is the world standard of, and it is so powerful. But for me, the learning curve is so steep.
Well, they have videos that are included and tutorials that are included with the files.
Yeah.
You can really sit there and teach yourself. I mean, I taught myself how to use it. Because when I first did it, it wasn't really, I went to art school. I have an art degree. They did not have it in art school when I went to art school. So it was like a really new thing. That it was really terrible, actually, when it first came out. It really didn't do that much.
Right.
So it's greatly improved.
It's like, do you use pastels, watercolors, or Adobe Suite? They're like telling you how to do sketches.
I went from being a printmaker to using Adobe Suite. And it's great if you do photography. I mean, you can really, you know, it's got really amazing ability to edit photography.
Yeah, there's nothing like Photoshop, nothing on the market like it, I don't think.
No, it's still the industry standard.
So I'll make an analogy. It sounds like Photoshop is, in the artistic world, the equivalent of fractional share companies in the airplane sales world. Give you access and flexibility like you've never had access to before for a fraction of the price. Sorry.
No, that's great. Cool. Well then, we'll wrap it up unless anybody has any final word on Adobe Suite.
I can't hear anybody. I'm spinning.
Oh. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yep, I can hear you guys. So we'll just do a quick run through. That was good as far as everything goes. Next week from now, we're going to be talking about this book, Never Split the Difference. This is a great book. You guys are going to love it. If you get a chance to even spark note it, it's really cool because it's written from a CIA operative who did hostage negotiations, and it's about sales. So it's great.
Wow.
Right? Exactly. He talks about like hostage situations in Haiti and the Philippines and how he got deployed to do da-da-da-da. And then this is why you need to negotiate for a raise with your boss, you know, so it's kind of all over the place, but it's fun. So that's next 2 weeks from now. So if you get a chance, go ahead and look at that. This went really well. It did go over on time by quite a bit, but I think it's because everybody is a professional. Everybody knows, you know, we could probably talk about 7 other programs that we've used to get success. So that's great that we have such a deep bench and a wealth of knowledge here. Last thing is I have surveys that I'm sending out at the end of book clubs. So if you got a chance, I think Debbie filled it out and I know Mom has. If you guys get a chance to fill it out, we can make these book clubs better, however you want to make them better. So that's the whole intention with those. We'll do a sign off. So I'll say my name, what I do, and that's it. Am I missing anything, Mom? Is that about right?
Yep, everybody's going to pitch a product or service or your website or your YouTube channel or whatever you want to pitch. So this is your opportunity to practice your pitch.
Before we start that, it occurred to me when Dave was talking about chatbots, and then John came in and said that Facebook put a head-to-head chatbot programs together. I mean, until I read this pricing on the website for chatbots, I thought maybe they'd wasted the 30 billion euros they spent in CERN, Switzerland, for the Super Collider. You just need 2 chatbot programs to stand off against each other, and you'll create a black hole, or maybe you'll create hot fusion of some kind. But it sounds to me like that's the way to go, personally. But anyway, I had to say that. Sorry, edit that out. I'm just being
that's okay.
an idiot.
Which website are you looking at? Are you looking at ManyChat or some other brand of chatbot?
I'm looking at chatbots.org.
Ah, okay.
Cool. No, you're right. It probably would be a new source of fusion. I mean, we're using like a new nuclear development. That's great.
Artificial intelligence.
Outside of the box. All right, cool. Pitches. My name is Michael Gamonal, and I am doing the ASVAB Domination Challenge. I'm launching this month. So for now, it is $100 to join, and I can get you that ASVAB score that you want inside of that month. So if you're going into the military, you want to enter in as high and prepared as you can. If you should be nervous, if you're going into the military, you probably should be nervous and excited, but we want to make sure we channel that energy in the right direction. So go ahead, hop on to ASVAB Domination by Gamonal Tutors. Our Facebook group is free, so have fun with that.
Very cool. Paula Williams, ABCI. We help aviation companies sell more of their products and services, and we do whatever it takes to make that happen, whether that is websites, brochures, trade shows, chatbots, and so on. We do not yet have a chatbot product, but we may end up doing some collaboration with one or more of you guys to get a chatbot product on the market for aviation companies. That sounds like a good direction to go.
John Williams and Ibid, what she said.
Sweet.
Jeremy Cox, you have any kind of aviation asset that you need to know what is it worth accurately and credibly? Call me. Go to www.jetvaluesjeremy.com. That's J-E-T, Jeremy. Got it all screwed up. JETVALUESJEREMY.com. And I can assist you on pretty much anything that's lost. Thank you.
All you, David.
I believe I'm next. Yes. Again, my name is David Pearl, and I'm an aviation copywriter. I've got a lot of experience writing all different types of things. If you need help creating copy or content for anything that you want to do, I would love to collaborate with you to learn as much about your business as you'll allow me to know, and to write something that's going to reach out to your clients in an engaging, concise, and powerful way. I aim to educate, I aim to inform, and most of all, I aim to engage. I think I can take your vision and execute it through my words. You can reach me through, I'd say I'm working with Paula and John right now. I'm not up and running as far as the website, but I will be soon. So if you or you know someone that needs help getting something written, I think I'm your guy, but you can reach me through ABCI.
Hi, I'm Debbie Murphy. I'm the VP of Marketing for Jet Brokers. We help people buy and sell jets. We can be found on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Jet Brokers, and our website is jetbrokers.com.
Cool. Scene. Great job, everybody.
Thank you.
We can all do
See y'all later.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for being such good sports. This was so much fun.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care, guys.
Great.